No grandparent of mine has ever died among strangers in a nursing home, and it was never a rule we followed. It is only how we love. If you are curious about how we live close like this, stay with me. I want to show you the house first. I am Amos. This morning, before the sun was full up, I carried a cup of coffee across our yard. The grass was wet with dew, and my hands were warm around the cup. I walked to the little house that is joined right onto ours. My father lives there now. We call him Dawdi Eli, and he is 84 years old. There was a time he lived up the stairs with the rest of us, then his knees gave out. One winter, he could not climb those stairs anymore, and climbing down was worse, so we did not send him anywhere. We did not look for a place with nurses and a long hallway. We added a little home onto the side of our farmhouse, and that is where he sits now, in the morning light. We call it the grossdawdi house. Grossdawdi just means grandfather in our Pennsylvania Dutch. It is a small home joined to the big one, where an old set of bones can live close enough to hear the children laugh at supper. That is the whole idea of it. From his window, Dawdi can see our long table. He can hear my little ones giggle over their bread every single evening. He is never in another building across town. He is right there, a few steps away. I will tell you something. When Rebecca and I married, we did not dream of a big fine place for just the two of us. We sat down early and planned the grossdawdi wing from the start the way you plan for weather. You do not wait for the storm to build the roof. You know the old ones will need a place someday, so you make it before you need it. It is just how we think. Now, I am not going to pretend it is all easy. The English often ask me this, so let me take it honest. Isn't it hard having your parents always right there? Don't you lose your quiet? Don't you lose your privacy? And yes, I will not lie to you. Some evenings I would like a room all to myself, a door I could close, a bit of silence that belongs only to me. That is a real thing, and I feel it. But then I hear it. My father, on the other side of that wall, chuckling because he heard his grandchildren laugh, an old man hearing young voices, and I ask myself which one I would give up. I would not trade one for the other, not ever. The nearness is the gift. It was never the cost. So the privacy question, that one I can answer easy, but it is not the question that matters most. There is another one the English ask me more than any other. It is the true heart of all this, and it is the one I felt the weight of for years. Whether keeping an old one home is simply too heavy a burden for a busy family to carry, the heavy burden. That is the question I felt the weight of for years, whether keeping an old one home is simply too much for a busy family to carry. So let me not argue it. Let me just show you a day from the very start of it, and you tell me what you think. At 6 each morning, before the house is even warm, my father's already at the kitchen window. His hands are moving. Some mornings he shells peas into a blue bowl, one at a time. Slow, the light just coming up gray over the barn. Other mornings he sits at his workbench and mends a harness, the old leather soft under his thumbs, and all in a length of waxed thread. These are small things. An old set of hands can still do them. And that is the whole point. Dawdi Eli is not set in a chair to wait for his supper. He works in his way, and so he never once feels set aside. By noon, we are all at the long table together. Rebecca, the children, Dawdi, all of us, elbow to elbow over bread and beans and whatever the garden gave us. And when the meal is done, I never have to ask. One of the little ones slides down from the bench, takes a covered plate, still warm, and carries it out the door and across the grass to the little house, to Mommy Sarah, who ate her portion but likes a second helping brought by small hands. Nobody tells the child to go, the child just goes. So here is the question, the real one, the one the English ask me more than any other, and I will say it plain, because it is the true heart of all this. Is it not a heavy burden, all of it, day after day? On a family already so busy, isn't it just too much? I will be honest with you. I carried that question a long time. I turned it over on more than a few nights. And here is what I came to. It is not carrying a weight. It is many hands. Hands that are used to work do not tire the way lonely hands do. When there are 10 of us, no one of us breaks. The plate is light because a child carries it. The morning is easy because Dawdi fills his own. The load, spread wide, stops being a load at all. And it gives back more than it takes. My daughter Katie is only 7, and some evenings she sits and feeds her gross mammy soup, one careful spoon at a time, and she is learning patience I could never teach her with words. My son watches his grandfather grow old right in front of him, and so old age is not a strange thing to him, not a thing to fear or hide away. It is just Dottie at the window. The breaking the English picture, one person cracking under all of it, that is real. I have seen it. But it only ever happens one way. It happens when one person carries it alone, and we never do. I want to ask you something here, gently. What is the one thing you believe you could never live without? Write it below if you like. I am truly curious, and I mean that kindly, not to argue. But there is a deeper room in all this, a harder one, the season of leaving. I sat with my own mother until her last quiet morning in the room right next to mine, and there is one thing she had there that no nursing home, however kind, can ever give. The one thing she had there was us. I sat with my own mother until her last quiet morning in the room right next to mine, and let me tell you what that room held. Because it is the whole reason no grandparent of mine has ever ended their days among strangers. Stay with me for this last part. It is the quiet heart of everything I wanted to say. It was late in the fall. The stove kept the room warm, and the only light was lamplight, the soft yellow kind that makes a tired face look gentle. Rebecca had a loaf rising in the oven for the morning, so the whole house smelled of it. Lamplight and the smell of bread. That is what my mother went home to. All through that night, the door opened and closed, soft as breathing. A grandchild would come in, sit a while, go out again. My brother came near midnight and held her hand and said nothing. Little Katie carried in a warm cloth for her forehead. Nobody was called. Nobody made a schedule on a paper. They just came, the way water finds the low place. No hallway of strangers, no hard chair, just home. That is what a nursing home cannot give. And I want to be careful how I say this next part. The people who work in those places, many of them are kinder, and steadier than I would be at 3 a.m. I will not say one word against them. But a good, gentle stranger in a clean hallway is still a stranger in a hallway. It is not home. And the old ones know the difference. My mother knew whose hand she was holding. She knew the smell of her own son's wife baking bread. She knew the sound of her grandchildren coming down the stairs, even with her eyes closed. Here is the thing I did not fully understand until that morning. My father, out in his little grossdawdi house right now, shelling peas by the window that faces our supper table, he is growing old inside the same laughter he raised me in. The children who laugh at his table are the same ones he taught to whistle. And one day, when my own knees give out and I cannot climb these stairs anymore, Katie, or one of the boys, will clear the little house and carry a cup of coffee across the yard to me. They will not have to be told how. They have already seen it done. They watched. So when the English ask me if all of this is a heavy weight on a busy family, I understand the question now better than I ever did. And I can answer it plain, from the room next to mine, with the lamp still warm in my memory. Growing old at home is not a weight we carry. It is one of the greatest gifts a family can give, and I have come to see one of the greatest a family can also receive. I wish that nearness for you. I mean that gently, and I mean it true. Whatever your house looks like, however far your own people live from you tonight, I wish you a doorway that opens soft in the dark, and a hand you would know anywhere, even with your eyes closed. Out across the yard, the lamp in Dottie's window is already lit. Rebecca is laying the long table, and yes, I can smell the bread. Come, supper is nearly ready, and Dottie has already taken his seat.